Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdets Newsstand, and I know a lot of people are talking about this New Gods cancellation. Also, the Trench. We're going to talk about both, and I've got a little bit of a Hollywood Reporter article that backs this up. It came out on April Fool's, and everything I seen that day was fake. I'm like, no, I'm just going to wait. But I want to talk about it a little bit. I'll probably talk about it on stream also, which this is coming out after stream. So regardless, let's talk about why I think this was canceled. And I am glad to actually see it canceled. I'm very glad to see it canceled. I don't think that Ava DuVernay should be attached to something as big and as amazing and huge proportionate that New Gods movie would have to be, right? It would have to set up something along the lines of Endgame or Infinity War. New Gods should be the end game. That was a bad pun, but even so, you have to have a good Justice League in order to introduce the New Gods. You have to have an established Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And we have Wonder Woman and Flash and Aquaman. Now we don't even know about Superman. There's a new Supergirl coming. We know the Flashpoint is probably going to change a lot with Ben Affleck's Batman, and quite possibly leave him either on a different Earth or bring a new Batman back. Obviously, we know it's bringing a new Supergirl back. So it's going to be a whole new Justice League. Not only that, then you add in Ta-Nehisi Coates and J.J. Abrams' reboot of Superman. You can't have these movies without the pieces in place for the original league. You can't have a mess of a league to go against New Gods unless you're going to tell the story of, Highfather and Darkseid, and then, Orion and Scott Free against each other and not include those characters, which is really, really hard. There's a lot of forever people and stuff that you could introduce the concept of, the anti-life equation and why Darkseid is constantly going towards it. You could introduce those concepts. But are people going to care about characters named Mr. Miracle and Big Barda when they don't even care about Batman yet? Now me, I would love to see it. Not from Ava DuVernay, not even a little bit. She's extremely divisive. And what I mean by divisive is she was originally going to not hire people that were not of color. And it was not going off of meritocracy. And I don't want to see that in such a big budget film, especially by characters that I absolutely adore. Now, if you add in Tom King is really, really hit or miss. As far as Batman, his entire run, I would give a 5 because it started off really strong and ended on a whimper. Now, his Mr. Miracle would be the only reason that I would say that he could do this job, because his Mr. Miracle was a self-loathing Mr. Miracle, which is fine. It worked very well in this equation, and it was wonderful. Honestly, his Mr. Miracle is probably top 3 graphic novels of all time ever to ever exist in the entire world. I loved it that much. I still go back and look at some of the concepts. I love the meta-textual components of it. I think it's really fantastic. But if you fast forward, that was one of his beginning works. Same time, around Vision. Well, after Vision, but even so. And then you fast forward and you have something like Adam Strange, where the elements come in of real world politics and anti-nationalism and war crimes. And oh my God, they made Adam Strange look like Trump and he used the media. It's just, no. We need fresh hands on projects like these. Now, James Wan, I'm not talking about at all. I'm just talking about the New Gods movie, because I think James Wan, as far as his Trench product could go, really, really well, especially if they followed some of the comic book origins where they, investigated that. But you would also need Jason Momoa in that project. So I'm not sure why you wouldn't get, at least Aquaman 2 before you go to the Trench. Now, what I think they should do, as far as Aquaman, we've heard rumor after rumor about Amber Heard's getting her own spinoff, or Atlanta is getting her own spinoff. And I think that's what they should do. From the time when Atlanta left Arthur with his father, and then ended up past the trench. That's where I think they should focus on if they're going to do a spinoff. That time in between A and B, how she got there, why she got there, what she did. It makes more sense. Then that leads the bridge into Aquaman 2. Or even if you're doing a spinoff, do something like Aqualad. Why not introduce a character, Dolphin? These are characters you can use that are core more than the trench type characters are. And I have no doubts that James Wan could do it. My doubts are there 100% when it came to Ava DuVernay. And I never actually thought this project would get made because of the cancellation of the SNYDERVERSE. You don't have core characters to compete with a god along the size of something like Darkseid. Let's be real. They're not set up. So, should they go against Thanos? Oh my goodness. Darkseid first? No. Look at Marvel. You should have a clear set of characters that are not as big as Darkseid and then work your way up. Work your way up to that point. Get people deeply invested in how these characters function, what their power set are, what their origins are, what their motivations are of being either A, evil, or being good. Why do they have those motivations? Can you empathize with them? Can you love them? Can you hate them and love them at the same time? All of those things need to be solid before you go to a character like Darkseid. There are plenty of other villains, even going to the Batman Rogues Gallery, that you could use on a smaller scale. You've got, in bigger ones too, you've got Mongol, you've got the Monitors. There's plenty. Darkseid is your endgame. Darkseid is not where you start this. Now, Jack Kirby stuff, fantastic. Absolutely loved every single ounce that man wrote. He is a pioneer in the industry, obviously, right? After he left Marvel and started doing New Gods, they really wanted him for, obviously, the Forever people, but they wanted him for Darkseid. He created an amazing character, a lot of which Marvel took inspiration from. So, is it good these things are over? Yeah. This is really good. It's also separating itself slowly from the SNYDERVERSE and kind of reworking things, revamping it, and making it the Hamadaverse, which is okay with me. I know some people are all up for that, but it's what needs to be done. If they ever want to compete, it's what needs to be done. So I think this is smart. I think at some point we knew that this was either A, not going to be even made, or B, not going to go through. So good. They're making smart decisions. Again, bravo, because it seems like you're making slow leaps towards a universe that could possibly be shared. I know that Anne Sarnoff did say when asked if they had somebody like Kevin Feige, she said, yeah, we have Jim Lee. And I kind of call bullshit on that because Jim Lee is one of the best comic book artists and CEOs that you could have at DC Comics. But he's not in tune with the movies. And I think he needs to kind of hire someone, maybe work along somebody like Jeff Johns, and really put their footing in as to where they want to go. Because if you look at projects Jeff Johns have done, they've all been extremely successful and well received. Get it together. This is the right step in the right direction. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Balls, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskart, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.